Okay, can you hear me in there? If you can hear me in there, I want you to send me a message on Messenger saying I can hear you. Okay, so first off, we're going to play as a hunter. Actually, let me back up. Welcome everybody. My name is Retro Gaming Vet, aka Cecil. This video is being made for my mother, who is currently getting into World of Warcraft. This video is a tutorial video so she can learn basics, and we'll be taking everything slow. We're going to be teaching this game to everybody and showing everybody who wants to watch how to get into this video game and what you have to do to play it. This series is going to use very minimal add-ons. We're not going to use a lot of things, so it's very easy for her. And we're furthermore going to start in the islands that you begin in, which is the initial starting point that every player begins in. So let's start. So you've made your character, whatever it is. Your character could be any kind of class. This is a hunter, and I'm going to be playing this hunter. This is a night elf, and this character is called LNSA. She is from the tree called Teldrassil, and that is where night elves used to be from, until things that happened in the War Within expansion, which is very far away from the beginning expansion that we all start in. So we've made this character, we've made her how we look, or we want her to look, we've chosen her class, and we've got everything ready, so let's go ahead and start into the game. Now this character will be on the Moonguard server. You can choose whatever server you want, but it doesn't really matter what server you choose because each one has its perks and its things going on. There will be different people on every single server that you choose. Some servers are for role-playing. Some servers are for not role-playing. Role-playing is where you as a character put yourself into the character that you're playing. You make a story for them, and you make all the interesting things that make a character what it is. Think of it as if you're playing a character in a book. Okay, so here we are. We've started this game, and it's showing you tutorials. This tutorial says make sure your hands are over the following keys: W, A, S, D, and it wants your left finger, your index finger I think it's called, and your middle finger on your mouse. Your thumb should rest on your spacebar. This is so you have easy access to the movement keys as well as the jump key here. And this is here so you can use your mouse to point at things on the screen or to interact with other things. We're going to hit OK. Now it says I need to look around.
We're near the island. Let's get some practice in.
These are players. You can tell they're players because they have a blue name over their head. If you notice here, blue means players.
Good day to you.
A green name means this is a NPC. NPCs are non-player characters. These are not actual people in places of the world. These characters can be from anywhere in the world. They are not specifically from where you're living. That's how the MMORPG works. An MMORPG is a massively multiplayer online role-playing game. That means that there are a lot of people going to be on the game with you, and they can be from anywhere else in the world, and it won't differentiate where they're from. I think the only place you won't see people from is China, but they are also on here, and it's mainly a firewall issue with them. This is a dragon. This is a dragon named Rathion. He is very big in the story later on, but for now, you just need to know that he is a dragon. This is also a dragon. This is Caligos. Caligos is a blue dragon. Rathion is a black dragon. This is Lady Jaina Proudmoore. Lady Jaina Proudmoore is the so-called Daughter of the Sea. She is a different type of human. She is from Kultiris. Kultirans are a seafaring people that work with boats and live on an island which is aptly named Kultiris. She says, "Prepare yourself, LNSA. We're nearing the island where the expedition was lost. Warm up on these combat dummies, and we need everyone ready for whatever we find on this island. We're going to accept this."
Refresh yourself on the basics. We don't know what's waiting once we're on the shore.
Okay. So, as you level up, you will get new abilities put onto your bar. As I am a hunter, I have one ability at level 1, and that is this, which is Steady Shot. We're going to left click on this target, and then we're going to press 1 to use Steady Shot.
Good. Next, we... Wait. It's raining. The skies were supposed to be clear.
Now let's go over this right here. This is your character's portrait. Now, on this you see a green bar and you see a orange bar. And you also see a number 1 up here, as well as my name and my character's face. The green bar is your health bar. When this depletes, your character dies. You can hover over it and see just how much health your character has by looking at the number, and as right now we have 292 health. This goes up or down as we gain equipment or change equipment, and also if we take damage from enemies. As a hunter, I have a secondary resource, and it is called Focus. Focus is used when I use certain abilities. These abilities are not available to me right now, but as I gain more abilities, they can either gain or lose focus. As you can see, if I hover over this ability called Steady Shot, I get a tooltip in the bottom right. This tooltip says Steady Shot, 40-yard range, 1.7 second cast time, a steady shot that causes 18 physical damage, usable while moving, and that's very important. And you also have generates 20 focus. So when I use this ability, I will regain focus, which will allow me to use other abilities on my bar. So, what else do we have on here? As a night elf, I have a certain ability, and this is called a racial ability. Most races have what is called a racial ability. Gnomes, this is specifically for my mother, gnomes have an ability called Escape Artist. You can find that in your General tab. We don't actually have access to our General tab yet, so we'll come back to that once we do. But as a Night Elf, I have what is called Shadow Meld. As you can see, it says Shadow Meld, Racial, Instant, 2-minute cooldown. Activate to slip into the dark shadows, reducing the chance for enemies to detect your presence. Lasts until cancelled or upon moving. Any threat is restored versus enemies still in combat upon cancellation of this effect. So we've learned a new word, and that word is threat. What is threat? We'll get to that. For now, we're going to turn in this quest that we got from Lady Jaina Proudmoore. And to do so, we walk up and we right click.
I will do what I can.
This will open up this picture here, which for me, this is an add-on doing this. So, it says, good, looks like you've kept up your hunter training during our voyage. I'm concerned about the sudden turn of weather. Spar with Private Cole while I investigate this. Okay, now, we have rewards here. This reward is 250 experience for completing this quest, as well as a reward of 55 copper pieces. Copper pieces are the lowest denomination of money available in World of Warcraft. You also have silver and gold pieces. Copper pieces, which count up to 100, will turn into a silver. 100 silver pieces converts into 1 gold piece. There is no conversion past gold. So we're going to complete this.
Be careful who you trust.
Alright, so I have leveled up.
Thank you for now.
You've gained experience. You'll level up when this bar is filled. And this is the bar it's talking
Leon
about.
and I will fly ahead to investigate the island.
Okay, this is the bar it's talking about. So we have a bar, excuse me, called an experience bar. Your experience bar is where all the experience that you saw when I got in the last quest goes for every time we complete a quest, kill a creature, explore an area, etc., etc. I'm sorry, I had a message come up. There are other ways to get experience too. Mining ore gets you experience. Getting herbs gets you experience, harvesting herbs. Some other things will get you experience, but again, for the basic things of what you need to know, taking a quest, completing the objective of that quest, and turning it in will reward you with experience. But now it says we've got a new ability. It says open your spellbook and find Arcane Shot. So we go down here to Talents and Spellbooks. We find Arcane Shot. We'll move it down here. Now, we have a new ability available to us. And this is Arcane Shot. It's an instant cast, which means as soon as I press this button, the ability goes off. You can see by doing this. The ability casts as soon as I press the button. Let's see it again. Now, casting that says it's instant, 40-yard range. Again, very important because things have to be in range for you to use abilities. Instant, a quick shot that causes 37 arcane damage, but most importantly, this uses 40 focus. Now, we learned a second ago that we have Steady Shot. And Steady Shot gives us 20 focus back every time we use it and causes 19 damage. So right now you have what is called a rotation. A rotation is when you use one ability and then another ability and then you start back on the other. Okay? Let's go over that again. A rotation is when you use ability and then you use a second ability and then you go back to the first one again to complete the rotation. Now, certain rotations give you certain abilities, and they're not always perfect, but there is what is called a optimal rotation. But for right now, let's just worry about the fact that we have two abilities that we want to use in conjunction with one another. We want to spend the focus with this ability, which is Arcane Shot. We want to regain the focus by using Steady Shot. So we use Arcane Shot. Well, if I don't destroy it in one hit, we use Arcane Shot, and then we use Steady Shot to get focus back. And this allows us to cast another Arcane Shot. You see how this works? We're using Steady Shot until we have 100% of Arcane Shot back, or excuse me, of our focus, and then we use Arcane Shot. So we're using Arcane Shot to burn focus, and we use Steady Shot to get it back. We have enough to do a focus ability, we use that ability. Did you get that? I hope so. You'll see this doing that in the future. But for now, let's not worry about it. Let's go talk to Private Cole. Private Cole has a quest over his head. You can tell us to this by a orange exclamation point. An orange exclamation point, means that a character has a quest that you can take. If this exclamation point were gray, it would mean that there is a quest available here, but I don't meet the requirements to get it at this time. So let's go over that again. Orange means that I am ready to give you a quest. Gray means I'm not quite ready to give you this quest. There's something you need to do in order to get it. Coincidentally, a gray exclamation point usually means you're not high enough level to get the quest. And so it's a quest that you might want to pick up in the future. So, let's talk to Mr. Cole here. One other thing. A blue exclamation point over the character's head means I have a repeatable quest. These quests unlock daily or weekly and can only be done once. So a repeatable quest means if Mr. Cole here had a repeatable quest, it will be blue. I could take this quest and come back this time tomorrow and he would have the quest again. So, let's talk to him.
I bet we'll save the expedition in no time.
I hope this rain isn't a bad omen. This is supposed to be a simple rescue mission. You'll be sparring with me today. We have to make sure you can handle yourself once we make landfall. Let's see what you've got. Spar with Private Cole. Upon completion, you'll be rewarded 425 experience and 1 silver, 20 copper. So now we're moving into a new category of money, silver pieces.
For the Alliance. Let's move into sparring positions. I'll let you have the first strike.
Okay.
Here to help however I can.
So, here's where you can practice your rotation with these two abilities. We're going to start with Steady Shot, or with Arcane Shot, excuse me. And then we'll go to Steady Shot to replenish. So we're going to Arcane Shot, and we're going to use Steady Shot.
Always face your enemy. I yield. I'd say you're more than ready for whatever we find on that island.
Now, did you hear what he said? Remember to always face your enemy. That's very important. This means that you always need to have something in front of you before you're able to attack it. So let's see about that. So I'm facing this way, and I press my Arcane Shot ability. I can't attack anything because it's not in front of me. But if I'm trying to attack, say this, I face this way. You see, I still have that combat dummy targeted. If I press 2, it's not going to cast a spell. It will try, but she can't quite cast it. So let's see when we can actually cast this. Right there. Notice I'm not completely facing the target dummy, but I'm close enough that I can actually see it out the corner of my character's eye. We turn a little to the left. We can't attack it anymore. Now why is that? It's because my character can't see the target, and therefore the target is out of my LOS. LOS stands for line of sight, and it means exactly what it sounds like. A line of sight is everything in your character's line of sight. If it's in front of me and I can see it, then I have line of sight on it. If I turn around, it's now in my line of sight because, as you can see on my screen, my character can see it. Again, if we turn, I no longer have line of sight, so she'll stop shooting at it. You got it? Just one more time. Line of sight means it's not, LOS means line of sight, and it's in my line of sight when it's in front of my character, not behind my character. If I turn around, it's now in my line of sight, and I can attack this target. Did you get it? Very good. Now, let's continue on.
Private Cole, reporting for duty.
You're a skilled hunter, recruit. I think you'll prove a welcome addition to the main rescue team. We're going to complete this quest and receive 425 experience and 1 silver and 20 gold, or one silver and 20 copper. Coincidentally, 450 experience or 425 experience will level us up to level 3. How do I know that? Well, it's simple. If you hover over your bar down here, we talked about this as your experience bar. You see it says in the tooltip, I'm at 442 experience of 655. It says I have normal experience, 100% of normal experience gained from monsters. I have 68% to the next level. So if we add 425 to that, that goes over 655, which means
We'll get stronger together.
I will level up. You have learned a new ability, Wing Clip. So again, we're going to come over here. We're going to take this. We're going to put it on our bar. Done. Now let's talk to Private Cole. That's it for warming up. You and the other new recruits are making a promising bunch. I tell you that much. Hold on. What's that sound? I think something is headed our way. We get 75 experience for this, 50 copper.
Captain, we can't weather this storm for long.
Everyone below decks, now!
Okay. So, now that everything is falling apart, it's now raining and thundering really bad. We need to get below deck. Coincidentally, there are new characters here. This is a gnome. Gnomes are a short and inventive race that tinker and actually work with machines and such. This is a night elf male, or a man who is a night elf. He's the same race as us. And again, there's our human taking a nap. So let's go back downstairs. This is a dwarf. Dwarf are stoic, strong people who live underground and harvest minerals and dig in the earth. They also like to learn history and ancient knowledge. This is a worgen. Worgen are humans who were infected with a virus that turned them into werewolves, or worgen. It is uncurable, and they are stuck like that for life. These are Pandaren. Pandaren is from the Wandering Isles, which is a giant turtle which is out in the ocean. They came from that to the mainland, and now they're here. They're either part of the Alliance or the Horde. So you'll see both races of this people on either side. Pandarans are a Chinese-themed race, or an Oriental-themed race,
We
who
will see this through.
love eating. That's the best way to say it. They also know some forms of Kung Fu.
The true battle lies ahead.
Okay, she says the storm is resisting her abilities to dispel it. She says, stay near me and I'll sure we make it onto the island one way or another.
I will never forget.
I'm glad you made it out in one piece. Judging by the shipwrecks that are nearby, I think it's safe to say the missing expedition ran aground here too. We can't move until we get the remaining survivors back on their feet. Unfortunately, our remaining supplies have been stolen by Murlocs. I need you to recover enough first aid supplies for the wounded. Then we can begin searching for the missing expedition.
Reclaim our supplies, but don't take the Murlocs lightly. They're deadly in swarms.
So Murlocs are humanoid creatures that are part fish. They're amphibious. They swim in the water. There's something between a cross between a frog, a human, and a fish. These won't attack us, so let's take a look at them. Most of the Murlocs look the same. They look like this. These won't straight up attack me, so we're somewhat safe from them. So we can take a good look at them. However, when you get out to the world itself, you'll find that Murlocs are something of a bother. They tend to swarm, and they tend to come in very large packs. So you need to be very careful when fighting Murlocs because they do, in fact, bring friends to the fight. Unfortunately for them today, we're going to be killing them because we need to get the items back that they took from us. Let's gather our loot. So to gather loot, you're going to right click on the items that are sparkling here. This means that you can come up and collect the loot from the things you have killed. In this, we received 4 first aid kits, and we got a linked mail boot. So let's take a look at this. To get to our inventory, we're going to press B. This will open up our backpack. In your backpack, you have a certain amount of spaces that you can get items. Once all these item slots are filled, you can't pick up more items. Each item has a specific use. As you can see, we have a item called a shiny seashell. We have an item called a linked mail boot. Now, let's take a look at the seashell first. As you can see right here, it says I have some additional things on this. And this is from an add-on that I'm currently using. But for the main parts that you need to worry about, it says shiny seashell. You'll notice the name is in gray. Gray items can be safely sold to a vendor, and you won't lose anything for them. You probably won't need them for later. You'll see also it says the sell price of the item is 18 copper pieces. So if we were to sell this to a merchant, we would get 18 copper for it. We also have a linked mail boot. This linked mail boot says it's item level 3. We won't worry too much about that, but needless to say, item level is important because the higher the item level on the item, the better the item is for you. You'll see it binds when equipped. This means exactly that. When you put it on your character, it will bind to you. Bound items are items that cannot be traded between characters. So if I was to bind this to me, I could not trade it to this player here. It says it also tells you some more information. It says where it goes. If you look down under binds when equipped, the next row says feet and mail. This tells me that this item is a mail item. It also tells me that the item goes on my character's feet. Below that, it says for armor. Armor is what the protection that your equipment gives you and protects you from being damaged. The more armor you have, the less damage you take from monsters. You'll see durability under that. Durability 30/30. Durability is how good condition the item that you have is. If the item is high durability, it's usable. But when that starts getting low, the item on your tooltip will turn yellow, and the icon representing what your armor status is. Once you're yellow, you need to go repair items or they will break. Red items are broken items and cannot be used on your character. They will provide no protection and you will not get the stats for them as well. So, it's best to spend a little money and ensure your armor is repaired. Below that, we see requires level 8 in red. This means this item is only usable by characters who are level 8 or higher. So we've got quite a bit of ways to go. Below that, you'll see sell price. This is going to get me 3 gold pieces, or 3 copper pieces, when I use it. Or use it for a merchant. So we're going to go turn this quest in real quick. Now, in order to find out where a quest giver is, we're going to look at this real quick. First off, don't worry about this. This will not affect me in your game. It's simply my game. Again, don't worry too much about this. We're actually going to make it 1.7. Okay. So this is your map. Your in-game map shows a small area surrounding your character. This area is represented here. As you can see, it's showing the mountains which are over here as a dark area. And it shows mountains which are over here as a dark area. It shows grass as the brown, and it also shows there is a road going up through here. What we primarily want to focus on is this question mark. A question mark, when hovered over, will tell you the quests that you are turning in. Question marks that you see on the map are quests that are waiting to be turned in to the quest giver to receive experience and money, or even items. Here we have the quest Murloc Mania that we can now turn in. We're going to right-click on Jaina.
The road lies before us. The time for dreaming is over.
That sound you hear means you have successfully turned in the quest. You've moved on to the next one. We have to patch everyone up before we can begin the search for the missing expedition.
First, we tend to the wounded. Then we'll regroup and determine our next steps.
Nasty storm. It must have hit the first boat too.
Never seen a storm like that.
No, I was probably going a little fast there, so let's stop. Now, most quests, when you get an item that you need to use on other entities, will have a pop-up on it when you hover over the item, the character or the thing that you're going to use the item on. As you can see here, I have a first aid kit, and this first aid kit can be used on this sparkling character. If I right-click,
Don't worry. We'll find the expedition.
it heals the character. So now let's go turn in the
What
quest.
would you ask the daughter of the sea? The way forward will not be easy. A single spark can set the world aflame. Meet Captain Garrett.
We got a new ability
I'm
called
going to search the island
Disengage.
for more
You'll notice when I hover over it, it tells me you haven't added this to your action bars. So we want to go ahead and do that. We can also click on the General tab, which will show us certain things like Revive Battle Pets, our racial ability we talked about before called Shadow Meld, and furthermore, we have another racial ability we see here. Two of them, in fact. Three, excuse me. We have Nature Resistance, which means we get reduces nature damage taken by 1%. We have, oh, there's another racial pair. Quickness increases your chance to dodge melee and ranged attacks by 2% and your movement speed by 2%. So we move faster as a night elf than other people. Touch of Elune. It says we get increases my haste during the night by 1%, increases my critical strike during the day by 1%. And Wisp Spirit. Wisp Spirit transforms into a wisp when I die, increasing my movement speed by 75%. Well, let's certainly hope we don't have to use that. We've also got warbands. Warbands are what your characters in a game are called. Warbands consists of all of the characters that you currently have on an account. Warband abilities are things like your Warband Bank Distance Inhibitor. A Warband Bank is a bank for your characters that they can all use to store items and gold, and each character can go to that bank and take things out as they need. This is for all the characters on your account. I don't know if if it works for characters on a... Actually, no, I do. It does work depending, regardless of what server they're on. As long as they're on your account, you get the item. We also get an ability called Warband Map to Everywhere All at Once. Reveals map of regions that you have been fully explored by a member of your warband. We're not going to be using this because, for honest reasons of, it takes away from what you, the viewer, will learn as we explore new areas in the game. Also, we miss out on that exploration experience that we normally would get. So we're not going to use this right now. But if you have a second character and your first character has explored every part of a map and you just want to uncover the entire map, this is the ability that you want to use. We can use weapons that are bows, crossbows, guns. You can also equip axes, daggers, fist weapons, pole arms, staves, and swords. This is a button that all characters have, so you can see what kind of weapons you use by hovering over it. We have languages. Languages are spoken by different races. All the races of the Alliance know Common. All the races of the Horde know Orcish. As a Night Elf, I also know Darnassian, which is the language of my people. We also have an ability called Armor Skills. It's a passive. Passive abilities are abilities that you do not need to turn on. These abilities will always be in effect, and some require certain conditions to happen. Some do not and will always work regardless of what's going on. This one is a passive, which is a hunters prefer to wear male armor, although they can wear cloth and leather armor. Starting at level 27, you receive a 5% increase to your agility for wearing male. So what does that mean? That means we can use male armor. Male armor is a type of armor. There are 4 types of armor. There's cloth, there's leather armor, there's mail armor, and there's plate armor. Hunters cannot wear plate armor, but they can wear cloth, leather, and mail. Each type of armor gives certain stats, and until level 27, it's not really going to make that huge of a difference what kind of armor you use, because you're primarily wanting stats up till that point. But as a Night Elf hunter, I want to try to keep everything male armor and not deviate too far from that. So let's continue to look. We have 2 other abilities here, auto attack and auto shot. Auto attack is exactly what it sounds like. You automatically attack anything that you have targeted if you can attack it. You can turn this on and off. We also have auto shot. Auto shot is the same thing as auto attack. You shoot automatically every time you use the ability. As a hunter, we're using a bow, and thus we will use auto shot. But if we were a talent survival hunter, we would use auto attack. Auto attack is for melee users. Auto shot is for ranged users. So I threw two new words out for you: melee and ranged. Melee is just that, walking up and attacking something with a weapon. Ranged characters are just that. They shoot things at ranged, meaning if I am within range of this target here that I have on my bar, I can attack it. I don't have to get directly up to it in order to do damage to it. As a melee character, I have to be in range of this in order to do damage. For now, we're going to take a break. It's been 45 minutes and I don't want to burn my voice out. So we're going to take a break and I'll be back later on. We'll also make these about 45-minute lessons. We'll see you again in a little while.